Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Paramikacharya, Astatara Satashi Shimad. His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa, Paramikacharya, Astatara Satashi Shimad. His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shaimakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Chamunamaya Ki Jai. Gangamaya Ki Jai. Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Brihat Madanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Transcendental Krishna Prasadam Distribution Ki Jai. Go Premanandi. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga.
I think this needs to go up here. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Thank you. Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Gopi Janavalabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Shri Radha Kalachandji ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Tam Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tojayamudhirayet Nashtapraishva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Utamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here with all of you. Today is speaker's choice. So I thought, since we're still in the 6th canto and we're going a bit quickly, so we don't get to go into all of the verses, we can go back and review the prayers of Vritrasura, which are so famous and beautiful. So there's 4 prayers, and we can briefly discuss all 4 of them. So if you have your devices, you can pull it up so we can chant them together. Chapter 12. Just at the end, if I'm not mistaken. Is it before? Is it in the previous chapter? Okay. Thank you. Chapter 11. Yes. So starting with text 24. You probably could have told me right away. Canto 6, chapter 11, verse 24. This is the first prayers of Vritrasura. So he's in the middle of a battle with Indra, and Indra is losing confidence. Although he has this thunderbolt weapon, which the Supreme Lord already declared would kill Vritrasura, Indra is losing faith. And during this whole battle, Vritrasura decides, let me just offer some prayers. Devotees don't want to waste any time. So what better to do than to offer some prayers when there's a little gap in your day? So please repeat after me. Aham hare tava padaikamula das anudaso bhavatasmi bhuya manasmaritasu pater gunamste Rinita vak karma karotu kaya. Translation. O my Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, will I again be able to be a servant of your eternal servants who find shelter only at your lotus feet? O Lord of my life, may I again become their servant, so that my mind may always think of your transcendental attributes, my words always glorify those attributes, and my body always engage in the loving service of your Lordship. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. This verse gives the sum and substance of devotional life So it's very, very important, Prabhupada says. This verse gives the sum and substance of devotional life. One must first become a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Das Anudas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised, and he also showed by his own example, that a living entity should always desire to be a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, the maintainer of the gopis. Gopi bhartu pada kamalayor dasa das anudas. This means that one must accept a spiritual master who comes in the disciplic succession and is a servant of the Lord. Under his direction, one must then engage one's three properties, namely his body, mind, and words. The body should be engaged in physical activity under the order of the master. The mind should think of Krishna incessantly, and one's words should be engaged in preaching the glories of the Lord. If one is thus engaged in the loving service of the Lord, one's life is successful. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyanan Jana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The Vritrasura is giving us the sum and substance of devotional life. And Srila Prabhupada ends his purport that if we follow Vritrasura's guidance in this prayer, our life will be successful. So what do we need to do? We need to desire to become a servant of the servant of Krishna. And not just any servant, but Tava Padaika Mula Dasanudaso. So this means that those who are exclusively dedicated to serving Krishna, those who find shelter only at the lotus feet of Krishna. Pada Eka Mula. This word Eka we see a few times in the Gita, right? That Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Surrender to me alone, Krishna says. So we need to find someone who is in this consciousness. They are fully serving Krishna and nobody else. Exclusively Eka. And then Ekeha Kurunandana, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir. Krishna describes that those who are resolute on this, those who are on this path are resolute in their purpose and their aim is one. Other people are Bahushaka, Hyanantascha, and they have many different directions for their consciousness. So just this ability to focus is in very rare supply in today's world. What to speak of exclusive focus on serving Krishna. So we need to find someone who is exclusively dedicated to serving Krishna. Rupa Goswami describes in Nectar of Instruction that the pure devotee, the one we should take shelter of as a spiritual master, what's their qualification? They're free from the propensity to criticize others. So there's a few symptoms you can tell of one who is Padeka Mula, this exclusive shelter in Krishna. They don't criticize. They also don't waste any time. This is a quality Rupa Goswami gives in Nectar of Devotion. That one who's on the stage of bhava, almost the highest stage of Krishna prema, they don't waste a second. Every moment of their day, they are exclusively serving Krishna. They don't want to do anything else for a single second except serve Krishna. There's also, Srila Prabhupada quotes Bhaktivinoda Thakur in this Nectar of Instruction commentary. He says that you can tell an advanced devotee by their ability to make others come into the practice of devotional service. So, pure devotees don't show their symptoms because they are humble and people would misunderstand and maybe make offenses. So they don't reveal their intimate ecstasies. But we can tell from some symptoms. They don't waste any time, they don't criticize, they can bring many others into the practice of devotional service. If you know someone who has these qualities, then run to their lotus feet and fall at their feet with mind, body, and words, and serve them, as Vritrasura says here. We need to develop this eagerness to find those pure devotees. That where are they? Like Narottam Das Thakur sings, he's lamenting that he missed the association of Lord Chaitanya. He missed the association of Lord Nityananda and so many of the eternal associates of the Lord. He's so eager. And Ramachandra Sangamage Narottamadas, he says, I just want to have the association of my dear friend Ramachandra. So this is the consciousness that we need to develop if we want to perfect our devotional service, is this intense eagerness to be with pure devotees, to always have the association of pure devotees. And how do you associate with pure devotees? With mind, body, and words, we serve them. So serving with our mind means we can remember the instructions we've received from our spiritual master. And in that way, we're always in the association of our spiritual master. Manas meritasu pater gunamste. And then with our words, we serve them by speaking the same message that they have spoken to us. This is the meaning of guru. Guru repeats what their teacher has said. They don't change anything. They simply repeat. It's actually very easy to be a guru. It's just if we have a crooked heart, then it's not so easy. We want to be glorified. We want to make something up that's new and exciting. But if you actually just sincerely hear from your spiritual master and repeat those instructions and follow them, you're a guru. That's all you need to do. And then karma karotu kaya. We use our body to serve, so we don't just sit down and think of, I love my guru so much. No, we do something practical. We go and distribute books, serve prasadam, clean the temple, raise a family, donate money to the temple. There's unlimited ways we can serve Krishna with our bodies. So this is how we can perfect our devotional service. Should we stop and have discussion after each one and maybe not get through all of them, or should we continue and go through them? Any thoughts before we go on? We don't have to get through all of it. It was just kind of a desire. Anyway, just please let me know if you all have thoughts you want to add. Sure, yeah. Okay. Yeah, these prayers are so wonderful. We could talk for days and days, years actually. So text 25, if you have your device, please pull it up and we can chant this one together. Please repeat. Nanaka prishtham nachapadameshtyam nasarva bhaumam narasadhipatyam na yoga siddhir apunar bhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kankshe. Vritrasura prays, O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets, or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation, if I have to give up your lotus feet. Report by Srila Prabhupada. A pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. A pure devotee desires only to engage in loving service to the Lord in the constant association of the Lord and his eternal associates, as stated in the previous verse, Das anudaso bhavatasmi. As confirmed by Narottam Das Thakur, Tandera charana sevi bhakta sane vas, janame janame hai e abhilash. To serve the Lord and the servants of his servants in the association of devotees is the only objective of a pure, unalloyed devotee. So here we see in this verse what a pure devotee doesn't want. What don't they want? Anything in the material world. Nanaka prishtam, I don't want to go to heaven. This is such a strong desire in most religions in the world. I want to just go enjoy in heaven. No, nanaka prishtam, and nachaparamishtyam. I don't even want the highest planet where Lord Brahma lives. Imagine how wonderful the material pleasure would be, how refined, and you live for millions and millions of years, and you have all the powers, so much beauty and influence. But he doesn't want that. Nasarva bhaumam. I don't want to even be the ruler of this entire world. Imagine how much people are working, how much they're desiring to be the president of one country, the prime minister of one country, and only for a few years, and then they get replaced. So even if a pure devotee is offered to be the ruler of the entire world, no, I don't want that. I'm not interested. So like this, he's saying, anything that separates me from you, I don't want. This is the desire of a pure devotee. Whatever will distract me from my loving service to you, I don't want that thing. Let me suffer like the gopis are such a wonderful example. Krishna had a headache. He needed the dust of the lotus feet of his devotees. And only the gopis were willing to give because they said, so what if we suffer? We just want Krishna to be happy. All we want is Krishna to be pleased. And Srila Prabhupada, in his purport, says that to have the constant association of the Lord and his associates, this is the only objective of a pure, unalloyed devotee. Just to be with the Vaishnavas. Like the same in the last verse we were seeing. And especially those devotees who are Tava Padaika Mula. Those pure devotees who want nothing else. And the challenge is to really enter the heart of a devotee of this caliber, to win their favor. Of course, they're kind to all, but the secrets of devotional service are secret, they're confidential. So to really understand the deep realizations within the heart of a pure devotee, we have to win their trust, win their favor. And we do that by developing this purity of consciousness. I don't want anything else. I just want Krishna. I just want to serve. So let us not get distracted in our devotional service. I heard His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Swami speaking about the side benefits that come in devotional service. As you progress, there's many opulences that come your way. Like we hear that a devotee is the most famous. As you progress in devotional service, people start to look at you and appreciate you and want your association. You start to have this effulgence. You start to have improved charisma and ability to communicate. So many things. Influence will come. And will we get distracted with these things? Maybe we get positions. So many things that we could get distracted with. So we have to be very cautious when these side benefits of devotional service attract our attention. And we need devotees who we can intimately associate with and reveal our hearts, because otherwise these weeds will grow up and strangle our bhakti creeper if we don't share them, if we don't bring them to the light of other devotees who can help us work through them. So we may have time to get through all of them, but I just want to see if there's any comments or questions before we move on to the next. Otherwise, we can keep going. Okay, on to the next one. 26. You all have it there? Oh, yes, Gokulanand Prabhu. There are 3 Ks in Sanskrit. I'll just repeat this until we get a microphone so that online listeners can hear. So there's the 3 distractions that are all Ks in Sanskrit. And the first one is wealth will come. Kanchana. Okay. Gold or wealth will come your way in practicing devotional service.
Practicing devotees to surpass or surmount the first distraction, which is kanchana, or the material wealth. But the second one is even, more challenging, which is kamini. Kamini is the opposite sex for men, women, for women, men. And someone who is very serious practicing devotional service surpasses that obstacle also, but most of the practitioners fall down at the last one, which is kirti. Kirti is profit, adoration, distinction, name, fame, glory. You have disciples, followers, this and that. And we see in our movement also, unfortunately, many of them, they started having their guru pujas and they fell down eventually. So I just remember.
Thank you. That's really helpful categorization. Wealth, the opposite sex, and followers, fame, yeah. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya also says the same thing, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. I don't want wealth, followers, or beautiful women. Great. Okay. So text 26, please pull it up. We can recite. Ajata paksha iva mataram khaga stanyam yathavat satarakshudartha priyam priyeva vyushidam vishana manoravindaksha didrikshate tvam. O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk from their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Purport. A pure devotee always yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto him. The examples given in this regard are most appropriate. A small baby bird is practically never satisfied, except when the mother bird comes to feed it. A small calf is not satisfied unless allowed to suck the milk from the mother's udder, and a chaste, devoted wife whose husband is away from home is never satisfied until she has the association of her beloved husband. We hear about the longing mood of a pure devotee to reunite with the Lord. So Vritrasura's worshipable deity was Sankarshan. He was anxious to return back home to the Vaikuntha planet where Lord Sankarshan resides. He's an expansion of Lord Balaram, very beautiful white form with blue dhoti. And so Vritrasura was eager to get back. He was, in fact, so eager that he was just telling Indra, please kill me, I want to go. I'm finished with this life. Because actually in Vritrasura's previous lifetime, he had actually seen Lord Sankarshan. He had spoken to Lord Sankarshan and offered prayers and fell down at his feet, bathing him with tears and ecstasy. So he already had this blessing, and now he's in a demon body, he's fighting with the demigods. He doesn't care about that. He doesn't want to do this. But he still had a little bit of pride in his previous life as Chitraketu. And Parvati, being Mother Durga, she addresses him as her son. So as a mother will correct her children like that, Mother Parvati cursed Chitraketu for his benefit so that he can be purified of this pride by taking birth in the family of a demon. And so now, purified of the last little tinge of materialism, Vritrasura is just dying to die. He can't wait to be back with the Lord in the spiritual world. So he's saying, just like a baby bird waits for its mother to bring some food back, but then he's thinking, I believe this is from the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, this explanation here. I heard it in my Bhakti Vaibhava class. So Vritrasura thinks after this first metaphor that, that's not so appropriate because I'm not doing anything. A baby bird just sits there and waits for food to come. So, okay, a little more appropriate is to be like a calf waiting to see the mother, because yes, it will get some milk and it's wanting that, but also it wants the affection. The affection between a cow and her calf is very sweet. And then, no, that's not a totally complete metaphor either, because there's no service. So the most appropriate analogy Vritrasura comes to is a wife who is just longing to be back with her husband because she can serve her husband and do so many things. So Vritrasura is showing us this yearning that we should have to be with the Lord. So he both prays to be a das anudas, I want to be the servant of the Lord, but also here he's saying, I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. So from Vritrasura's example, it appears appropriate that we desire the personal association of Krishna. We go through the spiritual master. We never neglect the spiritual master. But to desire to have Krishna's personal association, we can long for that. And in fact, as we progress, one day we will awaken our understanding of the Ishtadev, the specific form of the Lord that we so desire. I was thinking, as we were singing the Guru Puja this morning, about this idea, how we're singing that the lotus feet of the spiritual master are the only place where we can get devotional service, so I very carefully serve my spiritual master. He will help me to cross beyond this world and enter the transcendental realm. And so therefore, let my consciousness, let my heart become one with his instructions. My Guru is my captain who is taking this ship of my material body to the transcendental world where Krishna is. And the last part of the first half there, Narottam Das Thakur is saying that by becoming attached to our spiritual master's lotus feet, all desires are fulfilled. And as we become advanced, then our desire will be more and more specific, that I want to be with, like Vritrasura, I want to be with Sankarshan, this specific form of the Lord. Or I want to be with Narasingha, I want to be with Lord Ramachandra. But Srila Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, I think it's the verse Manmana Bhavan Madbhakto Madhyaji, 1865. He says, actually, we should really long for Krishna, specifically. We should specifically meditate on Krishna. Manmana, Krishna says, think of me. And Prabhupada says, we should specifically think of Krishna in his two-handed form. like we see on the altar here. We should think of Krishna with his flute and his yellow dhoti and with his loving associates in Goloka Vrindavan. So this is a subject far beyond my realization. I can simply repeat a few things that I've heard. But the point is, by the grace of the spiritual master, dasanudaso, Vritrasura is praying, I want to be the servant of the servant, then we will eventually awaken this specific longing. I want to be with Krishna in this specific form, in this specific mood. And when we develop that type of longing, then, as we'll see in the next verse, then who cares about all these material things that this world is so obsessed with? So we'll finish off this last prayer. There's no purport here, so I'll just say one or two things and we can hear some thoughts from the rest of you. The text 27. Mamotama shloka janeshu sakyam samsara chakre brahmata swakarma bhi vanmayayatmatma jadara geheshu asakta chittasya nanatha bhuyat. O my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children, and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. So again, Vritrasura is going back to the same point. Although in the previous verse he said, I want your direct association, he's concluding his prayers with, I want the association of Uttamashloka Janeshu Sakyam, the friends. I want to be friends with those who are your devotees. And he says that I am in this illusion of attachment to material things, to my family, to my home, my wealth, my body, but I don't want to be attached to these things any longer. I want to be Tava Padaikamula. I want to only be attached to you. Of course, we have to understand that if our family is, if we are serving Krishna with our family, if our family members are devotees, then that's different. It's the bodily attachment that is the illusion, that this person belongs to me because their body is connected to my body, because I was produced from their body, or their body has been produced from mine. This is the illusion, or that this home is mine. But if we see my family is Krishna's, they are Krishna's devotees, my home belongs to Krishna, I use all of this for Krishna, then that attachment is favorable. It can actually help us progress. But Vritrasura is praying, I don't want this illusory attachment. I just want to be friends with your devotees. That's the conclusion of his prayers. I just want to be friends with your devotees, Krishna. And please let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. These are the beautiful prayers of Vritrasura. He goes from, I want to just serve your devotees. Then he says that I don't want anything else in this world. Whatever you can give me, if it separates me from you, I don't want that. And then he says that I long to be with you, just like a wife awaits her husband to return. And finally, please just let me be the friend of your devotees. Please let my mind be attached to you only. We have some time for questions, reflections, insights you may have. Yes, Gokulananda Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Your classes are so analytical and I like the way you decompose all the the verses and the purports, and they're loaded with examples and realizations. Wonderful. I appreciate. I truly appreciate. So the previous verse, yeah, you spoke about the Ishtadev, right? So I just remembered, which I would like to share here. I used to do this, but then it was corroborated when Mother Manjuali, our ex-temple president's wife, she shared this. One time she mentioned that Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj said this, that all of us, we should have one particular image of Krishna, any form of Krishna. Of course, all the forms of Krishna are one, but someone may be attached to Sham Sundar or Madhava or Kalachanji, whatever. So any crisis, or we should practice it in such a way that any particular crisis situation we're put into, that form, that image should come right across or right before our vision.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share that. I have a question. What do you do personally when in a situation, one may be a brahmachari or grasthas, there is a situation, a point of situation where you need to, you get confused whether this particular situation is created by the sweet will of Krishna, arrangement of Krishna, or is it a form of Maya? There is an opportunity, for me, so that I can advance materially a bit and utilize that in Krishna service, so that I can make my life and my family's life, a little better, so that we can focus more in Krishna. Okay, but we don't know if that is Krishna's arrangement or it is Maya. Even in the brahmachari ashram, I've seen, sometimes you're given some post. So I'm doing comfortably pretty well in a particular present situation, current situation. But if I get out of that situation, my spiritual advance may get affected. It could be sort of something coming from Maya. It's not Krishna's arrangement. So how do you tackle this situation? What do you do personally?
Yeah, thank you. What do I do personally? Trying to discern between allurements of Maya and opportunities of Krishna. Well, of course, with proper guidance, we can have the ability to make better judgment calls. If it's a big decision in life, then we shouldn't make it alone. I always make sure to check. At least my intention is to always check. I still have this independent mentality. And also I take solace in the fact that if I try my best to be sincere and make the best decisions with the knowledge that I have, Krishna will protect me. And if I make a foolish judgment call, then it may be a little painful of a lesson to learn, but Krishna will protect me. Like in the 11th canto, there's the verse that in the path of bhakti, one can run blindfolded and they'll never trip and fall. But Krishna will protect us. And especially if we make sure to take guidance, then we'll have the torchlight of knowledge from the Guru. We can make better judgment calls. And there's also the Gita, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Krishna will give us the knowledge by which to come back to him. I'm thinking of the example of Chitraketu. He made a blunder. Even after seeing the Supreme Lord himself, he still made a little mistake of criticizing Shiva. Although his intention was actually good, still Krishna arranged for some, actually expedited his growth. So perhaps some situation comes in our life and we follow the allurement of Maya. But if we're sincere and we try our best, then Krishna, through that, can purify us and bring us closer to him. These are a few reflections. I don't think it's a complete response. It's a very deep question. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. And then on your first comment, you mentioned about meditating a specific form. Yeah, I found this to be extremely helpful. What I do, because I travel all the time, so my practice is wherever I am, I think of the local deity. It's like, you're in charge here, you're the boss, I'm your servant. And that's very sweet. I'm developing this. I can kind of visualize the different deities in the different temples that I regularly visit. But yeah, if you're here, why not meditate on Kalachandji? Or there may be a specific picture of Krishna that we especially are drawn to, yeah. And then while we're chanting japa, while we're doing our Gayatri, doing kirtan, we can recall that form. And then when difficulties come, it's easier because we've been practicing to remember that form. It's already natural. A practice that I've been doing too is when someone praises me, I think of an image of my spiritual master. And because I've been practicing holding that image in my mind, very quickly I can recall it. And then I'm just, like someone's offering me flowers of appreciation, I just give those flowers to my guru. So yeah, this is a very powerful meditation on Guru and Krishna. They hold their form in our mind. We need to develop that longing like Vritrasura has. Longing to serve our Guru, longing to be reunited with Krishna. And if we don't have that longing, then we need to long to have that longing, right? Like, we will either cry in material life because it's so painful and so many struggles come, or we'll cry for Krishna because we're so desirous to be back with him. So it's one or the other. We're going to cry one way or the other, so better develop that cry, the longing for Krishna. Yes, Anuradha, can we please bring the mic?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Guru. Thank you
Krishna,
so
Mataji.
much. I was hearing your class from while I was doing my service. So thank you so much. Love your classes. As you were saying towards the end, like, when you get all these things, like, Krishna's lotus feet, association and service, who care? I mean, I understand the way you meant it. Who cares about the rest of the, like, the, prestige and things. I was also thinking about how Prabhupada was and this popular picture of his with the money, take a picture with the, so that's also a pure devotee, like, can use everything for Krishna. So in other way, we need everything, whatever has to be offered. Like, as the pure devotees are, like the swans or the, they take the milk and reject the water out of it. So yukta vairagya. But it's just that I feel for myself as a sadhaka, when I think it's yukta vairagya, I might get yukta with it, get too attached to it. Prabhupada said, attached bathroom for Mayapur, he was saying, I was hearing from Haldar Maharaj's class. He said, why are you so attached to bathroom? Be attached to Krishna. So because they said, we cannot do without attached bathroom. So Mayapur didn't have attached bathroom, and Prabhupada said, be attached to Krishna, not to bathroom. So that's Srila Prabhupada. In Orissa, he was, yesterday we were discussing on Yukta Vairagya, that when he had this wonderful cars and things, people questioned him. But end of it, Prabhupada was so peaceful in Mayapur, Orissa and Vrindavan. He didn't want it, but he wanted it for Krishna. So in a way, we don't actually want it, but also we want it. You might remember this, we wrote for our exam, there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, before Canto 1, either 3 or 4, I think, maybe 4, where the prayer goes like, I don't want any of the liberation, no mukti, if there is no seva. And you remember that? Prithu Maharaj. You remember the verse number? 20, 25, something, 4, 20, 25, something in that. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I was trying to look for.
Prithu Maharaj, definitely.
Yeah. So his prayers were, I don't want anything, like if it is without you. And if it is if it comes with you, then it's okay. We can use it for you. So priority is always Krishna. And then if it comes along, good. If not, we can, with the Goswamis, is what I see the mood of pure devotees. And today also when you're reading, reciting the shloka by Vritrasura's prayer, said, I don't want, if there is no lotus feet of yours, the shelter is not there. So I will take it if you are there. And without you, I don't want it. You are the priority, and then everything depends on it, whether I take it or not. So I was thinking, thank you.
That's wonderful. It's a response to Gokulananda Prabhu's question too, is that if some opulences come our way, if some opportunities come our way, we should pray to Krishna, please only give me things that will help me to serve you more, that won't take me away from you. Yeah. So very, very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll have one more before we close off here. The attached bathroom example, that's great. Why are you so attached to your bathroom?
So I wanted to give 3 examples of things that can help when you have dilemmas like this and you're asking for Krishna's guidance. I'm sure everybody here talks to the deities directly, but he can also open doors and close doors. I've seen this happen in my own life, and I've spoken to people who've done this where they pray about something really important. And so you can ask Krishna to literally open doors for you if it's right for you, but close them if it's not right for you.
Wow.
So you don't get to a point where you're in stress and anxiety. And then that's the last one, where he's in all of our hearts. And I know me personally, and I'm sure you've all experienced this, you get an uncomfortable feeling when something is not right. So he can guide you that way as well, where you take action, but you will get a feeling that's positive or negative as you take those steps toward whatever you're wanting to get guidance with. I don't know if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Sometimes you can take action and then you get the feeling whether something is right or wrong. But if you can pray ahead of it and ask him to open doors or close doors, that also works.
I really like that. Thank you. Please open the doors that will lead me
It's
to
right
you,
for
and
you. If
please
it's
close the doors in my life.
If it's not, that's right,
Yeah.
because we don't know ahead, but he does. So a little patience. Maybe that's a bit of a longer route, but it works.
Patience. Yeah, definitely. And you were also mentioning that from within, Super Soul, Krishna gives us guidance.
Absolutely,
If we're
100%.
sincere and
He will
we
protect you.
really try to listen, then we can get indications from Krishna, and then we confirm them with Shastra and Guru.
Yes, and that may also take a bit of patience. When it's something really important, just keep bringing it to him. Keep bringing it to him. When you're in danger, Krishna will protect you anyway. But when you're seeking guidance, just keep bringing it to him. And he'll open the doors or close the doors.
Thank you. It's
And
beautiful.
watch out for the sign. He has 1,000 ways to give you a sign.
Thank you. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Anything wonderful you may have heard is all the grace of Srila Prabhupada. Any mistakes are my own, please forgive me for this. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna